Okay, so hi everyone, thanks for joining this workshop session. I hope you're all having an interesting day so far. We really appreciate your time. My name is Jamie Munro and I am the sales manager for Pentland Medical. With me today I have Markku Viherlaiho, who is a theatre nurse now working as a clinical advisor for Pentland Medical, and Mikko Savola, who is the CEO of Monidor. So we have one Scotsman and two Finnish speakers, so we are handing out medals at the end for anyone who manages to understand every single word. We're here today to talk about this exciting new device called Monidrop. Monidrop allows nurses to give a better standard of care in IV therapy. It works by clipping onto the drip chamber of any gravity-fed IV set, and it uses its sensors to monitor the flow rate from there. So these days, most manual IV therapy is mostly given manually these days, and this therefore can lead to many problems with accuracy. So Monidrop allows, improves patient safety and actually reduces costs to the NHS. So before I run through the agenda, a brief introduction to Pentland Medical. Pentland Medical are a UK-based distributor working with various overseas partners to bring a range of products to the UK healthcare market. We like to work with unique and patented devices that offer something new to the healthcare market, with the overall aim of improving patient safety, clinical practice, and above all else offering a long-term value to the NHS. So in today's agenda, we're going to run through the background of Monidrop, how the need for such a device was identified and the key benefits of the device. Markku will talk about the inaccuracies of manual IV therapy and the complications that can arise from this. We do have a short video to show on Monidrop before we talk about the remote monitoring functionality of the device. At the end, we're going to talk about the potential for cost savings on consumables and also reduced maintenance. We'll be happy to answer your questions at the end, and we are going to be running a live demonstration, so we would encourage you all to come up to the front and actually have a shot of Monidrop for yourself. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over now to Mikko, who's going to give you a background on Monidrop.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. As Jamie introduced me, my name is Mikko Savola and I am CEO of Monidor. And we enable better care with lower cost in infusion therapy, and we offer you Monidrop device, which is a small device, and help work of the nurses and improve the patient safety by ensuring accurate infusion therapy. And also, we reduce extra steps in a hospital ward and save time of the nurses when controlling infusions with remote monitoring. And about the story of this device, Finnish doctors faced frequent problems due to inaccuracy of infusion therapy on hospital wards. And the reason was that most of the therapy was administered manually by calculating drops, which is prone to errors. It may run too fast or stop immediately without any alarm. And on the other hand, there were infusion pumps, but due to big size, complexity of use, or especially high expenses in consumables, they were not widely used on the wards. So it turns out that there is a big gap between manual administration and advanced pump. And there was need for a small, accurate and a cost-saving device, and that is why small Monidrop device was developed to enable better care with lower cost in infusion therapy.
So I'm Markku Viherlaiho indeed, and I'm a clinical advisor working for Pentland, but my background is nursing and I was qualified in Finland as a nurse. I worked there about 5 years, then moved to England and worked in various London hospitals for 35 years. Don't add those years up because you find out how old I am. Though you probably guessed it because this young two men remembers everything what they're going to say. I have to read it from my tablet. Anyway, so this is a very unhappy picture. You can see that the patient is completely ignored. This is not what patient care should be about. And the medic there, doctor, nurse, is recording everything with a pen and paper. So still in 2019, the infusion is administered on the wards without accurate settings. And the infusion information is entered to patient records with pen and paper. The nurses had written down the infusion speed calculations on lollyticks like this. This is mine. And they use that one together with a stopwatch, or they fob, watch that they had here and to calculate the infusion speeds. That took a long time, and sometimes patients talk to you and you have to start calculating again, and it took forever. Now, I would actually say that the nurses invented memory sticks 50 years before the IT companies went to the business with them. Think how different this picture would look like if that administration set, that IV set there, would have a drop calculator like the Monidrop. It would be immediately much better picture, and the patient would be happy as well. And that would leave so much more time for the nurse to talk to the patient and observe the patient condition rather than writing it down on a piece of paper. So manually given IV therapy is inaccurate and prone to errors. Infusions may run too fast, or they might stop suddenly without any warning. This causes risk to the patients. The picture shows results of the IV therapy accuracy. Nurses try to set 200 mL an hour, manually calculating the drops as taught in a nursing education. Actual results were measured with a Monidrop device. Results varied a lot, and this picture shows that it is not easy to set infusions accurately. And you can see there in a green bar graph that only 31 out of 129 nurses could reach 12.5% accuracy. Now, Monidrop device has a better accuracy at plus minus 11%. But look at those extremes. I mean, 20 to 25% of nurses under-infused or over-infused the patient, so caused basically danger to the patient's condition. So what are these dangers? Problems are inaccurate infusion fluid therapies are many, and NICE guidelines for intravenous fluid therapy in adults in hospital published in 2013, and then again updated it in 2017, highlighted the issues relating to poor fluid therapy management in hospitals. Inaccuracy in infusion therapy can lead to complications. Very common complications are pulmonary edema, cardiac failure, and also electrolyte disorders like hyponatremia. And also you might under-infuse the patients with fluids, and in extreme situations that could cause hypovolemic shock. This all adds to the longer hospital stay and increased mortality. Now we are going to show you a short video and this will show how to set it up, how quick it is to set it up, and when to use it and how to use it. Thank you.
IV fluid therapy is mostly administered like this, but this method often lacks accuracy. Monidrop is the missing link in IV fluid therapy. Precise and stress-free fluid therapy for hospital wards and home healthcare. Monidrop is fast and easy to use. When you adjust the roller clamp, Monidrop shows you the accurate flow rate. Monidrop saves time and makes IV fluid therapy precise and stress-free. Professionals around the world have welcomed Monidrop with great excitement. Monidrop, welcome to the new age of IV fluid therapy.
Okay, so Monidrop device can assist nurses itself by showing accurate flow rate, how much fluid is administered, and giving alarms in case of infusion related problems. Further benefits can be achieved when using this remote infusion monitoring that can save extra steps in a hospital ward and lead to the shorter emergency response. And need for this remote infusion monitoring came from hospital wards. When they start using Monidrop devices, they immediately asked if it would be possible to see status of all infusions on the ward from one screen. And the problem was that they didn't have enough time to check infusions so many times than they should have to. And a problem was biggest on the night shift, when there were less nurses working on the ward. For example, there might be 20 to 30 patients and 2 or 3 nurses working on a shift, and they didn't have time to check infusions. And they asked if it would be possible to check it from overview screen from PC or mobile device. And that is why remote infusion monitoring was developed for the hospital wards. So we enable better care with lower cost in infusion therapy with Monidrop, and we save extra steps and time of the nurses with the infusion remote monitoring. That's awesome!
Okay, thanks Mikko. So hopefully everybody now has a better understanding of the practical benefits that Monidrop can provide. Also very important are the economic benefits. So I'd like everybody to think about the use of their infusion pumps at their hospital. Now it wouldn't be entirely necessary to always use an infusion pump if we could accurately monitor the flow rate from a gravity set by using Monidrop. So on this slide here we highlight the difference between the unit costs of a gravity IV line and a pump giving set. And in the bottom part of the slide here we highlight the potential monthly savings and annual savings based just on one gravity set per day in place of an equivalent pump set. So potentially over £1,000 per annum worth of savings based on the use of only one Monidrop. Many more savings could be realised through extensive use of Monidrop throughout the hospital wards. So as well as savings on consumable costs, we can also cut down on maintenance required just by cutting down on overall pump usage in the hospital. Pump availability is also a big problem for many hospitals due to the frequency of pumps breaking down and also the cost of new pumps being prohibitive for many NHS trusts. Monidrop is very low cost and low maintenance by comparison. It only requires a battery change and calibration every 2 years. So thanks everyone for listening to our presentation there. We're going to go into questions, but I would like to remind everyone we are doing some demonstrations at the end, so I'd encourage you all to come up to the front.